All right, next up we have Undefeatable from the Sonic Frontiers original soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA a Layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Become a member, one of them paid subscriptions, support the channel even further with that. Do not do it at your own expense. Do not put your economic well-being to support this channel. You come first. Win your life. With that said, a couple of disclaimers. Number one, this one I am recording offline. We had a lot of tracks in the bribe list, and yeah, I needed to do some of these over the weekend so that it wouldn't get too overwhelming for the live queue. But yes, this is my first time hearing this track, so I will be pausing a lot as I will be explaining things as I hear them. Number two, this might not be off stream, but I'm still recording this on a single take because I want to stay true to my format. And, well, number three was me saying that this is from the offline and bribe list. So, if you want to be on the bribe list, you donate $5 or more equivalent, and that's it. That's how you end up in the bribe list. Observing, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the mosh pit. Oh, it happened in the last video as well. We're getting follows offline. That's insane, man. Okay. Anyway, let's do this. Let's hear this out. So we did this one in the jam and shred, by the way. That's the other disclaimer. We did half of this one in the jam and shred. Now I'm actually doing the LFA. Let's see this. Let's see. Let's go. Undefeatable. Let's go. Okay, so we start, I'm gonna have to back down a couple of seconds, but we start with a guitar giving us a very lovely intro riff. A riff, of course, being a colloquial term. Colloquial means there is not really an academic term for this or official term, something like that, but people still use it to understand, and it's usually kind of like an accompaniment musical idea. And of course, this is going to be a song, because we heard the girl there singing lyrics. The difference between a song and a piece/track is that a song's purpose is to sing lyrics, is to have lyrics. So many people will refer to instrumental tracks as songs. No, they are instrumental tracks or instrumental pieces. The difference between a piece and a track is that a piece of music is usually something that the conservatories use, like, you know, composers with like physical sheet music, that kind of stuff. So those snobs will get angry if you ever call them tracks, so please do. Okay, so let's see where this goes. So let me back up a little bit. We were building towards the start, because this is like a pre-intro kind of thing. Let's see where this goes. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so we're now having this not really a motif, it's the riff, the main riff. It could be that the first 10 seconds were heard. That could be maybe the riff that we're going to hear in the chorus. Okay, so structurally speaking, when it comes to a song, you're going to have a slightly different structure than you will for classical form, because form is just a way of saying structure, and those you do with letters like section A, section B, section C, that kind of thing. However, for songs, it's a little bit more defined nowadays. You have your intros, you have your verses, you have your chorus, you can have a solo, you can have a pre-chorus, you can have breaks, you can have bridges, you can have a bunch of other stuff. And these will have very specific purposes. For example, the purpose of a verse is to go through text. It's usually to go through a lot of text where the ideas musically are not as fleshed out as they could be, or at least they're not the main focus of everything. It's mainly to build up the music and to go through text. A chorus is usually going to be a lot more musically oriented, so the focus is not so much on the lyrics as much as it is in the music with the lyrics, while a verse is going to be the focus more of the lyrics with the music. So in this sense, the order of the factors does alter the product. And in this case, It could be that those first 10 seconds might have been something we might hear again in the chorus. And now we are building towards the verse. Let's see where it goes. So we repeat it. So yeah, now we have, so this was entirely an intro playing the riff for the verse. This is very common nowadays in a lot of music. You will either have the riff or the music, because in this case, the guitar, the drums, they are what is called the accompaniment. They are accompanying the vocalist. The vocalist is the central focus of the song until we get to a point such as like a breakdown or a solo or something like that. And in this case, we just played the verse, the riff for the verse, because nowadays it is very, very common to have either the riff of the verse or the chorus to be the intro. In this case, it could have been like those first 10 seconds, the chorus, then the verse. Now we are into the verse proper. We're no longer in like the intro verse kind of thing. We are in the verse, and we are taking it from there. Another thing I like to note is I like how the guitar has a kill switch, which is what is making it sound like it cuts off, because that's what a kill switch is, right? So it's something that usually you would hear in electronic music, where you will have all of these artists that are able to interrupt their own music that way. In metal, you will have a kill switch, which is a physical switch that the guitarist can actually press that cuts off the sound. I find that super cool. I hope that I one day can get something like that, because it's super, super cool. Let's see where this goes. Okay, another thing I just noticed is that we are having a second vocalist coming in, giving some harmonies. A harmony is just another layer of music to make things sound a lot better, usually giving you a somewhat of counterpoint, but usually it's just, that it's singing a little bit higher or a little bit lower to give a bit of extra layering to this whole thing. And also, the guitar is playing the exact same riff, but the drums have changed, and that alone has changed a lot of the connotation. Again, if you want to see the best example of how a rhythm section can truly affect how things sound, listen to the intro of The Mirror by Dream Theater. The guitar is doing the exact same riff. It does not change. What changes is the drums, the synths, the bass around it, and it really shows how much of an impact something as simple as rhythmic displacement can have. So let's see where this goes. Ooh. Okay, so we've gone from the verse to what could be a pre-chorus. Yet nowadays, when it comes to metal, a lot of pre-choruses will have elements of a breakdown. So we have two very, very unique sections nowadays in music, because again, before I get into that, let me get into the concept of how you build music. When you build music, you need to have a very careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. You need to balance those things out, because if things are too familiar, if you repeat yourself too many times, you risk the listener getting bored, tuning out. If you bring too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. However, when it comes to solos and breakdowns, you can have anything you want, almost anything you want, and you can get away with it, because these two are mainly driven by the rule of cool. Because once again, when it comes to theory, when it comes to music theory, a lot of these rules, they're called rules so that the academics can keep their jobs as teachers, but more importantly, they're not rules, they are common practices. These are things that tend to work, that usually work. And again, the principle of familiar versus versus new, that is a common practice. There are ways where you can make it work. So the solos, guitar solos, or whatever instrumental solos you have, or breakdowns, are going to have that. So the difference between a solo and a breakdown, right? A solo is you're going to have a guitar or a bass or whatever instrument just having the highlight, the spotlight, and just basically doing whatever they want, and as long as it's cool, as long as it's good enough, then they can get away with it. Then breakdowns, those are a little bit more rhythmic oriented, where you change the rhythm and you go from going and you go from getting melodic motifs, which motifs, by the way, are the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed from which everything else comes from, right? So you can go from having those melodic motifs to more rhythmic motifs. You can go for rhythmic themes with breakdowns, and these two are very, very much driven by the rule of cool. If it sounds cool and it fits in the song, you can keep it. And it doesn't have to be material related to anything else. Usually for everything else, you want things to kind of weave from one to the next. You want to be able to connect these one way or another. So right now we are having a pre-chorus that is also kind of a breakdown, and it is giving us a very fresh set of material, and it's probably going to build up to the chorus. Let's see if I'm right. Let's see if I'm right. Really cool. There we go. There's the chorus. And now you can see how the lyrics on the chorus are no longer being just pretty much spat out, right? Like they're not being rushed out. Now we are giving them a lot more sense. This is, by the way, called, there are two types of singing that you can have. Like usually for everything, every kind of singing will fall into mostly one of these two categories. Syllabic or melismatic. So syllabic singing is one note per syllable, which is what we were having at the start. It was mostly syllabic. The verse was mostly syllabic. We were singing one note every time we had one syllable. Melismatic is more than one note per syllable. So that now we're having that in the chorus. Usually this is how it's distributed nowadays in music. Most of the verses are going to be syllabic. Most of the choruses are going to be melismatic, because melismatic singing allows you to just come up with more melodies using less lyrics. And right now we are using less lyrics because we're just letting a lot of these words just go through. Not just go through, but we're letting them just ring for a little bit longer by using melismatic singing instead. So, let's see where this goes, because it's very, very beautiful melody. Melodies from those first 30 seconds. Nice. Back to syllabic singing. So even though we're back to syllabic singing over here, you can still tell that the melodies are a lot more developed than the ones during the verse. So it can still be syllabic singing with a chorus. It's just you're now focusing more on the music itself rather than the lyrics, which this is being very, very nice. The motif now, we are going for very small variations of the motif, but we are kind of reiterating the same musical idea, giving us this very, very beautiful syncopated feel, which, by the way, syncopation is just playing in between beats or against the beat. And as you will be able to hear, every time the vocalist sings a new note for a good chunk of these, it's in between drum beats. So very, very beautiful, very, very good way of adding more extra pace to your song. In this case, to your song, it gives the vocals more pace. And also, this kind of singing that we're having right now is something I like to call the flying melody. This is a colloquial term, by the way. Colloquial, once again, means there is no academic term for this. Like, you're not going to see this in a conservatory book. But it is how I illustrate my point. We're having a very busy drum line, of course, guitar line, bass line. It's fairly busy over there, and high above we are having the vocalist with a way slower melody. Like, the melody is a lot slower for the vocalist, and it's giving you this sense of it's flying and soaring through the air, just completely enjoying the landscape, and it just has that feeling of being uplifted and flying through. I just wanted to point that out. Very beautiful. Let's see where it goes. Now we're having a post-chorus, I guess. So yeah, now we're having melodies, similar melodies, and we're adding, I think this is called a hook. It's a post-chorus, basically. We're just letting this be this is for concerts. This is built for concerts. You can hear the whoa, whoa, that kind of thing. This is built for a concert. This kind of thing was composed so that you're gonna go watch the Sonic Symphony Orchestra, and in this part, everybody's gonna be singing the whoa-ohs. This is crafted for that, which, when it comes to audience interaction, you do need to be careful not to overdo it, but a moment like this one, that's gonna be awesome on stage. Like, you have an auditorium, you're playing this, and now you're getting everybody singing along that very simple melody that almost anyone can sing. It's a lot of fun. That's kind of what they're done this way. Let's see where this goes. Beautiful melody. Very good voice. Back to the original. We go back to the original riff, to the start riff, but now we add one extra layer. We're not doing a full recapitulation. Recapitulation is that you repeat yourself, but in this case, we are adding that extra synth, giving us extra context and extra layers to this. It's a very creative and useful way of being able to reuse material without making it the exact same way and feeling like it's developed. Just add one extra layer that gives enough contrast. Let's see where it goes. Oh, very nice. Okay, so this part, this could almost count like a breakdown. We're just doing an instrumental break. This one, in the sections we were doing, this is a break. We've taken a break from the singing, and we're just letting the guitar do its thing. There isn't really a solo. There's really not a breakdown happening over here. Usually breakdowns are a little bit slower paced, stuff like that. I guess you could argue this is a breakdown. It's a gray area. This is a gray area. You can call this many things. I'm gonna call it a break, mainly because there's no singing, and we're just digesting or just enjoying the main riff from the verse. Let's see where this goes. Back to the verse. So yeah. And as you can hear, this time the verse is a lot more melodic, so this could be another pre-chorus. However, the guitar has changed, because you can have more than one riff. You can have more than one type of verse. And in this case, we are doing a bit of a mix between the verse and the chorus. It's not the chorus. This is definitely not the chorus, because the pacing, especially for the drums, is that of the verse. However, we are allowing this to be a little bit more melodic so that the second verse doesn't feel too samey as the first one. And of course, because, you know, we just had the riff of the first verse playing again without anything else around it, right? So let's see where this goes. Nice growling. And right into the chorus, so it turned out to be just another pre-chorus. There was no second verse, it was just a pre-chorus, and it worked out beautifully. It worked out beautifully. We're back to chorus, and it turns out that that break there, you could call it a breakdown if you want, because the intro, that riff, the first verse riff, was very much breakdown-y. So you could argue that. I'm still going to call it a break to pre-chorus over to the chorus. Yeah, it's pretty much recapitulation, pretty much the same thing. Very beautiful post-chorus. It's lovely post-chorus. Now we are, and having this part be like the second half of the chorus or the post-chorus, whatever you want. I think it's just the second half of the chorus. Having this be here at the 3-minute mark, this is good, because this is the most cathartic part of their piece, which is good for a climax. Ideally, you would add a guitar solo after this one to carry that momentum and to just take full advantage of the pacing. Let's see what they do. What did I just say? What did I just say? We bring in a guitar solo, and once again, a guitar solo just like a breakdown. This, you can bring whatever new material you want, and usually you're expected to bring new material. It's very, very rare that you will have a guitar solo that is just reminiscent of the material you already heard that actually works. Usually a guitar solo is going to be completely new material, something completely different, very fresh, usually played on top of like the verse riff or something like that. So there is a sense of familiarity there, but it is a way of re-exploring something you've already done. So if you are somebody who's making like a rock or metal track or anything like that, and you're gonna make a solo for any instrument, don't use any of the material you've already used melodically. Like, don't use your motif for this. Maybe for like the second half of the solo, something like that, or like for part of it, you use it to give you a sense of somewhat familiarity. But this is the moment where you can really go all out and absolutely just go bonkers and show off. That's what solos are for. So let's hear this one. Let's see where this one takes it. Oh, hell yeah. Shred it, brother. Harmonize. There you go. Very Dragon Force-esque. So we did the chorus, we did a guitar solo, and we jump right back into the chorus. This is probably going to then lead to the outro because we're almost out of time here. And what a fun solo. You shredded it, very Dragon Force style, which is a very fun style of guitar solos where we had the harmonized guitars, otherwise known as, like, colloquially known as twin guitars. And it was just fun. The material was stuff that we hadn't really heard before, or it was something that we hadn't heard in this way. So it could have been the motifs, like the chorus, like the melody from the chorus, but done in a reductive way, right? Like a reduction of it. Reduction just means you speed it up. So it was really good. It was a short solo. It was like less than 30 seconds, but it left a mark there. And I really enjoyed it. Let's hear these last 40 seconds or so, because I think we're going to do the chorus. I mean, we're doing the chorus, maybe the post-chorus, most likely chorus, and then outro, which usually outros are going to be some sort of callback to the intro in this kind of way. Let's see if I'm right. Yep, climactic. And the outro is going off the ramp and just bringing back a piano on the vocalist. Going off the ramp, I don't know if I explained it on this video already. So going off the ramp is another colloquial term that I use, which is basically a way of making the listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia. Well, how do you do this? Remove the drums. Maybe the bass as well. In this case, the drums and the guitar. and you leave everything else playing. So I think right now we're doing still the melody of the chorus, but now it's a lot slower because we no longer have the drums banging on our ears and we no longer have the guitars going. Now we have the piano, so now it feels a lot smaller, a lot more personal, and of course it gives you that sense of now we're up in the air kind of thing. Let's see how this ends. Kind of like a callback of the intro. I think this is the pre-chorus melody, and we have one last note. Just let it ring, echo out, and we end it there. Man, that was awesome. That was a really, really fun song. There you go. That was Undefeatable, the full version, because we only did the half version on the Jam and Shred, from the Sonic Frontiers original soundtrack. That was really, really fun. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, thank you for watching. I know that I'm not streaming right now, so you're going to be watching this on the video archive. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Become a member, one of them paid subscription things. Do not do it at your own expense. Do not put your economic well-being at risk to support this channel. I love it when you're giving money. Do not do it at your own expense. If you want to listen to this track without me interrupting every 3 seconds, I will be linking it down below. If you want to request a song, right now we're not live, so go to the Discord, go to the LFA requests channel, and follow the instructions in the pinned messages over there. If you want to enter the bribe list, you need to donate or like super thanks or whatever it's called, $5 equivalent or more, and you take it from that. It's entirely paid to win. It's entirely pay to win, and we alternate within these. And right now I'm doing these on the weekend because I didn't have time to do these throughout the week. So yeah, they get priority. Up to you. Whoever else bids higher than you gets the song kind of thing. And if you want to watch these streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. What time that is for you if you're not in Central Europe, go to the Discord or the Twitch channel. They both have the stream schedule showing in your local time zone so that you don't have to bother with all that kind of stuff. Also, follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel where we put the VODs for the after shows that we do. I'm playing through a bunch of different games right now. I'm catching up on games that I haven't played over the past 20 years. So I'm doing that. It's linked down below, or you can just go to Games Are Basterd. Same username as the one you see. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you go. That was Undefeatable from the Sonic Frontiers original soundtrack. That was really, really fun, man. That was awesome. But yeah, let's move on.